Hey everybody, Jake here from Bearded Gear, and I have a package to open. I'm really excited for this one. This is a knife storage solution, if you will, kind of geared towards transport. This is a Vault case, and these have been on my radar for a while. They actually did a batch of these some time ago, and this is, I think, kind of the second batch. They just kind of came back into inventory, and I want to say they've even done some updates. I think this is the locking one. So the guys over at Vault Case were really cool. I talked to them about bringing one of these in for review because I was really curious about it and thought it was something that I'd like to check out, and seemed like something that you guys would enjoy and kind of deserved to be on people's radar. So I reached out to them. They said yes, and they sent me this. So big thanks to them. Really cool dudes over there, and we're gonna bust into it and check it out. So let's see what we're working with. I have this kind of unique use case for cases for knives, where I like to batch my videos, which means like I'll shoot a few of them in a day, especially when I'm out hiking. So that means that I need to bring the gear that I'm going to be shooting up with me, which means I'm tucking it into my backpack. And a lot of the knives that I shoot aren't really like super outdoorsy knives that I want to be like clanging around in my backpack, and sometimes they're really nice loaners and all that kind of stuff. So here's the case. I'm going to pull it out of the plastic here as I keep talking. But yeah, so I end up using, I've used a few different kind of solutions to carry a bunch of knives up into really remote places with me a few times. For a while now, it's been this kind of soft side pouch that has a few slots in it. Actually, it has quite a few slots in it. It's got, I think, like 5, 6 on each side. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, I've got some knives on this side. And then this kind of center divider has some in here as well. This was really cheap. I got it from River's Edge Cutlery. I don't know if they still have them on the site, but it was like, I think, under 20 bucks. And it's been great. It's a little bit padded, kind of works, but it's not quite as solid as I would like it to be. And it's dimensionally kind of big. I don't necessarily need it to be quite that big. I'm not bringing like over 10 knives with me to go film in a day. That's more videos than I can handle shooting time-wise. So this, you'll see, is smaller. This framing is going to be difficult, which I like about it, and it's also kind of a hard shell case. So I've been really curious about these because I wanted to see how it would work for me in my application of like genuinely. I have a pretty good storage system here, and I'm going to be doing a video on that soon as I do a collection update. I've got a couple of designated cases that at this point just sit on my desk, and I have a ton of slots, and it works. But those aren't good to throw in my pack and take places, so this should be a good solution. You'll see on this side too, I think this is one of the updates. I don't think this was on the first run, but there's actually like a maintenance tray built in back here, which is a really cool touch because this is meant to travel with you. And so if I can turn it upside down like this, and if I do need to work on a knife, I've got literal maintenance tray, 4 knives built into it, which is really, really rad. This one also is the locking kind, and this one is actually TSA compliant from what I understand. So you can use this as a safe, if you will, if you're traveling or whatever it may be. It literally hooks the zippers into this lock here. It's a rad touch. So not only is it stronger and do I feel a little bit better about my knives not like banging around in here, I think, but it's also safer to keep them in. So right now it's just at 000 the way it comes out of the box. I'll update the code on it for myself and not show you guys what it is. But yeah, that's pretty easy to disengage that lock. Oh, sweet. So right off the bat, there's a lot happening here. So I open it up, and you can see there's like these panels set in over here that appear to be Velcroed in. And then there's a mesh in front of them. And then there's this panel, which is kind of protecting that, if you will. And these have little like Molly style but elasticy straps that I should be able to put knives in through. And then there's a like shoulder strap, it looks like, that comes with it, so that's cool. If I wanted to carry just the case, sling it over my shoulder or something. Yeah, here's the instructions for setting the lock. Yeah, it does say TSA approved luggage locks, so that's cool. And then we've got another panel, if you will. So another kind of protective panel to keep this panel from smacking into what's down here, and then even more elasticy, sorry this is probably so hard to watch, elasticy loopy thingies on here, and these are removable, so these literally Velcro into place. So I've got 2 panels right here. This is a blocker to keep everything safe, so there's no storage on here, but it keeps everything from clanging against each other. I've got big panel right here with more elasticy strappy things, and then on this side I have 2 more of those like smaller attachment ones. So a lot of storage in here. I've been seeing photos of people kind of loading these out with a bunch of gear, and you can put like pens and flashlights and knives and lighters and all, like a whole bunch of EDC related stuff. It's not just knives that'll fit in here, which is cool because a lot of guys who are into knives also have other EDC equipment that they want to take places and keep safe, and so this should be a really good solution, I think, for me, and I've been excited for it for a while because the things I've been using have been working. Like at first when I started the channel, I would literally just like wrap knives up in like handkerchiefs and like rubber band them and then put them in like a soft pouch that could go in there and they'd all be kind of protected in that way. But then it's a hassle the way you're unwrapping everything and making sure you rewrap it up to get it in, and it's especially kind of nerve-wracking if it's a nice loaner, and it can be kind of a bummer. So then I evolved to using, like, I had kind of a small hard shell case, but it had no internal storage in it, so I was still having to wrap things up to put them in, which is still kind of a bummer. And then I've been using this soft case for a while, which works, but this is better for, like, if I'm not going outdoors, and I'm just, like, bringing this in the car as, like, kind of a duffel to bring a few knives with me somewhere. That works fine for that. But it doesn't feel nearly as nice as this does. This feels really, really nice too. The finishing on this as well, it's like a really nice matte black. And it feels, I don't know, kind of like a mix between leather and rubber. It's like a grippy leather type thing. I like their branding. It looks cool. The fact that you get a tray back here so you can set things down to work on them. That's a really good touch. The fact that I can lock it. Like, there's just a lot of really good features built into this thing, and so that's impressive to me. I think the guys behind this are the same guys from BRS, Blade Runner Systems, which is cool. Like, they're knife guys. They make not just balisongs, but they also make folding knives, and I've actually owned some BRS knives, which have been pretty nice. I haven't owned any of the balisongs yet, just because that's not really my style or my speed, but let's see how this works to lock these in. Oh, it's super easy. Yeah, you literally just press these into here and they lock right into place. So I'm gonna have to set my code on here, and then this will all literally be like a secure place to store very valuable knives. Like, I have some knives that I have a lot of money in knives at this point, let's say. There are people who own way more expensive knives than I do, for sure, but some of my knives, if they were to get lost or stolen or something, it would be a massive, massive bummer. So the fact that this locks is just a great feature. And then I assume if you were to travel with knives and stuff, that maybe might come in handy. I don't really fly often. When I do, I've never flown in the past and brought like a bunch of knives with me or anything, but if you wanted to put like a whole EDC loadout in here and travel with it, the fact that it locks helps out. It's cool too, even these little, I don't know what these are called, the rubberized ends on the cord that comes from the zippers is branded with their logo. That's pretty rad. Yeah, this whole thing is nice. You got a carry handle up here. I'm excited to put this to use. So, this is my new Vault case. I'll do a full review on it once I've used it a little, once I've tossed it in my pack for a number of hikes to do some filming with and stuff, and I'll probably show some of the ways that I can load a bunch of gear into it or talk about what normally goes into it for me. But I imagine this is going to get quite a bit of use for me personally, because I genuinely have reasons to use this thing. Even tomorrow I'm going to visit a buddy, pick up a knife that I'm purchasing from him, and I'll want to bring some knives to show him. It doesn't really make sense for me to bring an entire knife case. I don't need to bring 40 knives to show him, or even 20 knives to show him, but I'll want to bring 5 or 6, and that's more pockets than I have, or more than would be reasonable to put in my pockets. And so this is probably going to come in handy starting tomorrow. Like, I think this makes sense, especially once you get to a point as a knife guy where not only do you have a lot of knives, but like you enjoy showing them to people and you meet up with knife buddies, and that's kind of part of my life now. So this is going to be sweet. I really appreciate it. Thank you to the guys over at Vault who sent this. I genuinely do appreciate it. They were very cool about it, and I'll be giving some feedback and reviewing it and telling you guys how I think about it. So I will link to Vault down below, both their website and their Instagram, so you can check them out, both of those places. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for checking it out with me.